Hey guys, Magnus Robert here, bringing you another video, and in this one we're going to be doing another tapped out event idea. This one is special to my heart because I miss the levels, man. I think the levels were brilliant. I think they were a great way to get buildings that really elevate your town. And one thing that I kind of miss mainly is the fact that we don't get like what I want to call everyday buildings. You know, buildings that we would see theoretically in a town. And I don't know. That's why I really enjoy updates like the Simpsons Babies update. I really like that update, mainly because it added I don't like the characters it added, but the buildings were so good in that update. We got like 2 decorations in that update. The rest of it was buildings and characters. It was insane, and like 1 NPC. And it was all like everyday buildings. It was buildings that would help you, build up your Springfield. So I really enjoyed the Simpsons Babies update in that regard. And another great update is like the Secret Agents update. A lot of people don't like that update, and I think it's got problems, but the main reason why I think the Secret Agents update was really good is that we got loads of awesome buildings, and I think they were even better than the ones that we got in the Simpsons Babies. Like, the buildings in that were just great. They were just restaurants and stuff, and I thought it worked out really well. And one thing that we're kind of missing, I think, is houses. We don't have any more houses. We get one here and there thrown in to the store or the quest line, and you can allocate them and put them in your town and build up your neighborhood. But I really miss the houses. Now, I thought about making an update that was all about like actually getting new houses. So like just this picture, this is just a picture from the show, but this image in particular, like there's like this house here, like this little blue one, like this one. There's all these like different houses you can see here that they could potentially add, just not for anyone, it's just like more orange houses or white houses, just having a few more different houses. But I thought, actually, do you know what? Let's do an entire update based around housing. And so this update is primarily based around the Realty Bites episode, but not really at the same time, because I didn't want to add in any of those houses that we saw in that episode. I really wanted to add in houses that belong to characters that we have in the game already, or characters that we could add in the game with their houses. So that's what I've based this entire update on. That's how it's been structured. So shall we jump into it? Let's do it. And I just want to say before I start, there is no Dr. Hibbert's house and Dr. Hibbert's kids, mainly because I feel like I've been harping on them quite a lot lately. So yeah, but I had to include, there's a character I always talk about. I swear I've talked about him too many times, and the house that he can come with. I feel like I've ran this through the mud, but I can't have an update where he's not added. I think with Hibbert's kids, because there's so goddamn many of them, and because they don't have names, I feel like we can get away with not adding Hibbert's kids. But there's one character that needs to be added, and he's in my top 10 list, so that's why. But anyway, they start up. Many Springfields begin to complain to Quimby that they have nowhere to live. There are strip clubs, a wide selection of bars, banks, so many goddamn cinemas, but not enough homes. Quimby tells them to pray to the Skyfinger for more brown houses, but they demand their homes. Quimby promises everyone he'll get right on it, and tells Cookie to get right on it. Cookie tells everyone to come with her, and she'll be able to get a home for everyone. Among that group is Bart. So I forgot to actually add what would the start. Well, it'll be Bart apply for a new home and make Quimby reallocate housing crisis to Cookie. Those will be the 2 startup quests. There you have it. So the act currency for this one, the first act is going to be moving boxes, the second act will be house deeds, the third act will be new wallpaper, and the fourth act currency will be for sale signs. So let's get into it. So there will be 2 mystery boxes in this update. I don't normally do mystery boxes, but I decided to dip my toe in it for this time. Don't worry, it's not going to be a regular thing, but I thought I'd make one anyway, because there's going to be some new items in the mystery box. I just couldn't resist. Now, you might say, hang on, that's not realistic. We don't normally get stuff in the mystery box. That's true. We don't normally, but we have in the past. A good example is Brunella Pommerhorse. We once got her in a mystery box for one of the updates, just randomly added in, and it was just, you know, something new thrown in. So they have done it in the past. I think they're capable of doing it in the past, so I don't think it's completely unrealistic to think that they would add new things to the mystery box. But I thought, instead of just adding the new stuff, I would show you how I would probably design this mystery box. Now, I know that some of this stuff is in the yearbook, and some of this stuff has been in previous mystery boxes, but I didn't go through every potential thing that I could have added, but I gathered quite a bit. So we got the Taylor house with Alison Taylor, Baby Jesus with the Baby Jesus house, Manichek with his apartments, Baby Burns with Colonel Burns' mansion, the Murder House. We got Fallen Diva apartments with Rita LaFleur. I know that some of these weren't I'm pretty sure Rita was just in the prize track, but you may as well add it with this. The Crazy Cat Lady with the Crazy Cat Lady's house, the Invisible Man with the Invisible Man's house, the Grady with the Village Walker apartments, the Zenith City bundle, Marge Ziff with the Ziff Bouvier house, Great Raymondo with his house, and Buck Mitchell with the Mitchell house. And there will also, in this box, will be 3 new houses that you can unlock. And here they are. You got Abe and Selma's house. So this is the house that Abe and Selma, when they got married, they bought. So you'd get this in the game. The Old Jewish Man's house, which is where the old Jewish man lived. But now, obviously, he's seen at the retirement home. But there was one episode where I think Homer delivered Meals on Wheels to him, and he lives here. And Miss Hoover's house. This is Miss Hoover's house, where she lives. So these will just be thrown in the mystery box. They're extra prizes to get. And there will be tokens included with all the prizes. So new players have things to... Sorry, not new players. Older players who've got everything in the game still have something to win in the mystery boxes and won't just have to convert them into donuts. Moving on. There will also be a second mystery box. So I've used this one to... I know that this is just the regular one and this is the winter one. But I've used this one to indicate it's the real estate mystery box. And this one to indicate the housing relocation mystery box. So these will be the characters you will have in here. It's mostly just characters, but there's 2 building character combos. So you have Grandma Van Houten, Brittany Brockman, Stephanie Brockman, Sophie Krustoskovsky, Mr. Bergstrom, Shauna, Judge Harm with the Juvenile Courthouse, Martha Prince, Mindy with Madame Chow's, Bumblebee Man, and the new character that will be in the housing relocation mystery box, just like that one time where Brunella Pommelhorse was in a mystery box, will be Mr. Taylor, who is Alison Taylor's father. So you have the potential to get both Alison Taylor and her father in the mystery boxes. I know, I don't normally do this, but I really wanted to throw Mr. Taylor in. It's a travesty. Mr. Taylor, I think he was a funny little minor character, you know, and it's just like now there's like no building for him to come with, really, because Alison's already been added. So I figured why not just throw him in this, because it makes sense for the storyline I've created. But anyway, let's go into it. So, Act 1 will drop, and in the store will be Mr. Mitchell with the Mr. Mitchell's house for 150 donuts. So, you get Mr. Mitchell. He's obviously a blind dude who lives in Springfield, and this is his house. So, yeah, perfect combo. So, the questline Cookie asks who needs a house first. Grandma Van Houten says that she's been staying at her son's sofa for too long and her back is hurting. Lenny says that his neighbours at the condo are bullying him for his friendship with Carl. And Mr. Mitchell tells her he's blind, so he needs a home with suitable accessories. But Bart puts on a sad story and tells Cookie he's homeless and on the streets. So you make Springfield sympathise with Bart ×5, make Bart put on a sad performance, and make Cookie find Bart home. You earn so many moving boxes, and you unlock the absolute crusty apartments, or you could just call this Bart's apartment. So this is an apartment block that Bart, I think he got like emancipated from his parents, right? And then he lived in this apartment, I think. But anyway, he lived in this apartment for a short while. So I thought it'd be a good first prize. Marge and Homer are horrified that Bart has moved into an apartment over all the other homeless people in Springfield and tells Bart that he's sunk to a new low. Bart tells Homer he'll let him have access to his bar if he helps him move in. So you make Homer help Bart move in, make Bart play video games all night, make Marge scorn Bart, and you earn so many moving boxes, and you unlock the You Break It van. This is the only decoration in the entire prize tracks for all the acts, but it's not impossible because Springfield Babies was a multi-event like this, and also only had 2 decorations. I know it's 1 less, but it's provable it's possible. Homer may be enjoying Bart's Bot's home, but Marge is still not happy with what he's done. Homer, though, points out that Lenny already has an apartment and he's just getting a house because he's sick of his neighbours. Marge confronts Lenny, who admits to it, but he has enough money to pay Cookie, so she has no complaints. Make Cookie look for a new house, make Marge berate Lenny, make Homer get drunk at Bart's apartment, make Bart plan a party, make Lenny look for houses, and you earn so many moving boxes, and you unlock Lenny's house. So I know he lives at the condo, but I acknowledged it, so there you go. Wait, actually, does he live at the condo? Is the condo even in the game? Is the condo we have the Glen... Is that even the one that Lenny lives in, or does he live in a separate one? I don't remember. Oh well, Lenny's house is in the game. There you go. Lenny is happy with his house and invites Homer and Carl around for beers. Grandma Van Houten complains to Lenny. She is still sleeping on her son's sofa whilst he has an apartment and a house. Homer feels kind of bad and asks Cookie to find this poor woman a home. Cookie says sure if he can help give a deposit. Make Homer cash out money out of guilt. Make Cookie find a property for Grandma Van Houten. You earn so many moving boxes and you unlock Grandma Van Houten's apartment block, which is right here. So this really should... It's also got another name. It's got like 138th something street, Avenue Street, or whatever it is. Main reason why I really want this in the game, it should have been added with Grandma Van... Like, it should have just been added in the prize track. I don't understand why it wasn't added in the prize track. That Van Houten update, the one kind of bad thing about it is the buildings were kind of lackluster, and we didn't get very many. And this one, they should have just added this one. I don't understand why they didn't add this one. Yeah, that kind of annoyed me. So, I would like it in the game. There we have it. Cookie is happy that her sales are up. Homer and Marge have an argument over him giving their savings to Grandma Van Houten, and Nick tells Marge that she can help get the money back if he could survey their home. And basically, there's like a scheme, like a housing scheme that's going on, and he says that he can A-OK them for the scheme, and he can get them like a bigger home. They just have to pay a small amount. Cookie is mad at Nick. How dare you? This is the West Side. So you make Cookie fight Nick, make Marge try to break up the fight, earn so many moving boxes, and you unlock Nick Callahan, who is, of course, a full playable character who works for the Red Blazer Realty. So, yeah, you get him as a character. Very cool. Boom! A Gil's deal comes along. Gil is like, yo, I'm selling houses too. And he's going to be selling Sixth Fair. I don't even know how you say that. With Lois Penny Candy. So, this is Krusty's mansion that he has in the Krusty Gets Busted episode. But of course, the mansion is only ever seen once. And recently, we've seen him in a different mansion. But you can tell that this one looks extremely different. And you don't have to call this one Krusty's mansion because it has a name already. So, you can just add this one in. Big mansion. You can add the gate as well, which would be cool. Have it be like a gated off house that you can add in. And I was thinking, what characters should we have added with this? I was trying to think maybe like one of Krusty's ex-wives, maybe one of Krusty's like family members. But I thought, actually no, we'll have Lois Penny Candy, because I don't think I added her in my Krusty update, and I completely forgot about her. But of course, she's Krusty's assistant, so I think it works out. Have Stick Fair with her, and that could be cool. And that would be 200 donuts. Moving on. Act 2 store, so this will be the Gil's deal, but in Act 2 store, we've got the birthplace of Edgar Allan Poe with Edgar Allan Poe for 150 donuts. So of course, this is the house that Mole Man was transporting in his big van here. It's the birthplace of Edgar Allan Poe, and Homer like bashes the back of it, and then it explodes basically. Now Edgar Allan Poe wasn't seen in the house because he's kind of like dead, but he did appear. I don't know what appearance this was, I'm not going to lie. I think it was Treehouse of Horror, I'm not even sure. But he did appear later on, is what I'm trying to say. So, Edgar Allan Poe has been dead for many years. I'm pretty sure his works are in public domain anyway. So, like, there is absolutely no trouble with adding Edgar Allan Poe as a character. They could do that. And they could charge for it, because I think Edgar Allan Poe is long dead, and normally I think the rules behind it are like a bit weird, because obviously like at the end of the day they could theoretically add like, I don't know, like Donald Trump in the game, but if Donald Trump like says that, oh, the Simpsons have like hurt my image or whatever, or they've like, you know, like that, like the Simpsons would hurt his image more than him. But like, if he did that, he could have a case. So I think that's why they steer clear of it. But obviously, like with people who are dead, unless their children take the case, like you've hurt my father's image, then it's normally not an issue. But Edgar Allan Poe died in 1849, so I don't think his descendants are gonna try and sue. So I think they probably do that. But Cookie and Nick, I'm pretty sure like the rules have now like expired for that. I think there's like a rule. I don't know. Someone who knows law would have to tell me. But I'm pretty sure there's like a law anyway. It's like after a certain amount of time, you can't. If the person's been dead for a certain amount of years, I don't think you even have a case because they fall into historical figures. Anyway, Cookie and Nick decide to split up the West Side and share the profits. Marge tells Cookie that she needs to give houses only to people who need it, and Cookie reluctantly agrees. Homer, though, asks Nick if he could use the government housing fund to get that better house, and Nick says sure, and offers him a mansion. Make Nick look for mansions for Homer, make Cookie try to do the right thing, make Homer tour around mansions. You earn so many house deeds, and you unlock Homer and Mindy's dream house. So of course Homer saw this in a hallucination when he was imagining being with Mindy for the rest of his life. So I do realise that it is a hallucination, but it's not like we've not got hallucination houses before. So they can add this one in the game, and I think this could act as a nice little story. Because Homer gets his mansion, but there is a catch. Mindy lives there too. Marge is angry that Homer is now trying to live in a house with house with Mindy. Marge goes to Nick and tells him they don't want this house, but Nick tells her the deed is already signed. Plus, Nick is dealing with a very important customer, so could you please go away? He is, of course, talking to the Brockmans. So you make Kent Brockman, obviously look at properties, make Nick ignore Marge and show Brockman around, and make Marge argue with Nick, make Homer enjoy his mansion. You earn so many house deeds, and you unlock the Brockman mansion, which of course is right here, and you earn a little token. Nick refuses to help Marge and tells her she's stuck with the mansion. Lisa arrives with Cookie, who has been trying to give homes to more needy people, one of which she's found a house for, Lindsay Neagle. Marge says Lindsay doesn't need a house. She could stay at one of the many Heights buildings, but Lisa admits it's the Mensa house that's been bought. Make Cookie get Lindsay to sign the deed, make Marge be frustrated at her family, make Lisa attend a Mensa meeting and earn so many house deeds, and you unlock the Mensa house, also known as 13 Lucid Street, which is right here. You could call it either one. I think it's a nice little looking house. I'm surprised they haven't added it yet. Marge tells Cookie she really doesn't care about the people who need homes, but Cookie reveals that... wait, what? Oh yeah. Marge tells Cookie she really doesn't care about the people who need homes, but Cookie reveals that this was her master plan. The Mensa are now together and can begin to calculate who needs homes the most. Marge is still a little confused. Why'd they go to this degree, but allows to see the plan unfold? Homer bursts in with Duffman saying that he's sick of sleeping in the Bury. You know, this dude, he's sick of sleeping in the Bury. And Cookie asks the Mensa people if they can find Duffman a home, and they tell her that Duffman doesn't fit into their initial bracket. So Nick comes along and says, I'll find you a home. So you make Nick find Duffman a home, make Cookie find people who need homes, make Marge grit her teeth, and make Mensa members calculate who needs homes, ×5, and you earn house deeds, and you unlock Duffman's house, which is right here. Very cool. Duffman is happy with his home, but tells Nick there is a small child in his basement. It's Kyle, one of his many stepchildren. Kyle tells Duffman he's a terrible stepfather. He left him here, but Duffman asks Nick, could you just remove this problem? And Cookie sees this opportunity to find a house for someone who needs it. She has the perfect accommodation, Bart's apartment. Make Bart be forced to move out. Make Cookie help Kyle move in, I should probably put. Make Marge help Kyle move in. And there will be, if you own him, you will make Duffman hose his drive, because this house will add a new animation for Duffman, which is just called hose his drive. So it'll be a little animation for Duffman where he'll just be basically doing what he's doing in this picture. And yeah, And then earn so many house deeds, and you unlock Kyle as a full playable character, which is Duffman's stepson in a season 31 episode. I know it was a cutaway joke, but I wanted to add someone from Duffman's family, and I was considering adding that Duff girl, the Duffman's daughter, but she only appears in the comics, so it's like, like, I know the Tapped Out has taken stuff from the comics before, so I presume they do have the rights to the stuff in the comics, but I always would prefer a show character to a comic character, so I was like, oh fine, we'll just go with Kyle. Anyway, Act 3 comes along. Boom. Bumblebee Man's house with Emma, Senora Bumblebee Man. 150 donuts. But you could just call it Emma. But I kind of like the Senora Bumblebee Man. Or I kind of like that as well. Or is it Senorita? Should be Senorita, shouldn't it? Wait, I don't even know. They do some weird things with poor Bumblebee Man's wife. But anyway, you get Bumblebee Man's house with Emma, a.k.a. Bumblebee Man's wife. I mean, they could just call it whatever. So Nick taunts Cookie on her sales, but Cookie tells her that she'll be doing what's right, so she doesn't care. Marge is very happy. She is wanting to do the what's right, and she tells Marge, well, that is just to gain a promotion of running both East and West Side. But right now, she can pretend to be a good person. Marge isn't too happy over her disingenuousness, but says they should get on housing people who need it. Lindsay tells Marge and Cookie that there is a man currently sleeping in the Union Station who needs a home. Marge asks if it's Gil, but no, it's Mr. Bergstrom. Make Cookie look for accommodation. Make Marge help Cookie find accommodation. Make Bart try to befriend Kyle. Make Kyle invite Bart around, and you earn new wallpaper, and you unlock the Happy Gypsy Apartments, which are right here. So this will be a building that you can add in the game. This is another building that was never added. I hope it's not added. Well, I say I hope, but I realize that, like, obviously the term gypsy is not really used as of today, so it's potential that they're not adding it, or they didn't add it because of the name. That is possible. If that is the case, that's fine. Just rename the building. I'd be happy with that. Just rename it the Happy Traveler, I don't know, or just name it like the Happy Apartments, or you could just call it Mr. Bergstrom's Apartments. I'd be fine with that instead if there's an issue with the name, but I would like it to be added regardless, because it's the place where Mr. Bergstrom, of course, lived when he lived in Springfield. Mr. Bergstrom thanks Marge and Cookie for his new apartments, even though this is where he used to live. Marge is overjoyed to have someone to have helped someone, and Cookie thanks Marge for her help. She should really think about a realty job full time. You know, she'd think about going full time, being Cookie's assistant. So Cookie offers her the red blazer. Make Marge put on the red blazer. Make Cookie welcome Marge. Earn so many wallpaper, and you unlock Red Blazer Marge. So this will be a costume for Marge. I know it's not like the most interesting like looking costume, because it's just Marge with a red blazer on, but I kind of want it. I really do. I don't know. Part of me wants it. I thought about not bothering, but then I thought and adding it as like an animation. And I guess they could just add it as an animation, but I thought, nah, I'm going to add it as a costume for her. Quimby tells Cookie and Marge that they need a good halfway house for these people who need homes. They are flooding his office and asking for homes, and it's really annoying him. Marge tells all the people who need homes to follow her, so you make Marge create a halfway house, make Springfielders ×5 pack up their stuff, you earn so much new wallpaper, and you unlock 123 Fake Street. So this obviously appears is a gag where Bart like tells the police to go to they're in 123 Fake Street, and it turns out there's actually a place in Springfield called 123 Fake Street. So yeah, it'd just be like a funny little meme building to have. And I think a good way to do this is just have like this building here with the sign, and then just have like a bunch of rundown buildings, and then you can place a road in between them, like one of those buildings where you can put a road in between them, like if there's like a 7 and 1 or whatever. Well, that'd be cool. Dr. Nick, Barney, his uncle, Carl, Moleman, Squeaky Voice Teen, they all come forward asking for homes. Marge and Cookie are swamped and stressed, but Marge asks Cookie if there's a way to give all these men one accommodation at once. Cookie says she might just have a perfect plan, or a perfect place. So you make Cookie find suitable accommodation, make Marge re-wallpaper apartments, make bachelors live rough times 10, and you earn so much new wallpaper, and you unlock the Bachelor's Arms, which is this building here. It's kind of a little rundown place, but that was the sort of theme I was going for here, kind of rundown places. But yeah, you get this as a building. Very cool. And then Al Gumble, but he's not very happy. He complains to Marge. His toilet is blocked, his wallpaper is peeling, and there is no place to store his prized bowling balls. He threatens to make a formal complaint and seek the help of Nick instead, and Marge panics. Oh no. So she tells Homer he needs to move out of his mansion. The time has come. Make Marge help Al move out. Make Homer sulk and move out of his mansion. Make Bart taunt Homer, and you earn so much new wallpaper, and you unlock Al Gumball as a full playable character. Yeah, I thought there has to be a way that Homer loses his mansion. We have to return to the status quo. And then Act 4 comes along, and in the store is the Powell house. I've talked about this before, I've shown this one before, but basically there was one scene where you see Janie was walking towards this house. Now, obviously, this was used once, and this will never be used again. Like, this will never appear like the Powell's house. And this house looks so goddamn small. It's just tiny. And part of me would just be fine with them just making a tapped out exclusive building for Janie's house, for the Powell house. Either way, either or, I don't really care. They could do that, or they could just add this one, and it would just be like a weird, like, Janie and her family live in a small house. Hey, maybe they just live in a small house. Like, maybe they don't have a very big house. But, yeah, you get the Powell house, and it will come with Mr. and Mrs. Powell, who, of course, are Janie's parents. They will be a 2-in-1 character, because I don't think there's enough there with them to make them two separate characters. My kind of rules for 2-in-1 characters are this: if the characters are so indistinguishable that you know, if I described like their action on paper, you wouldn't know which was which, then I think they should be a 2-in-1. So like Jif and Skippy have like pretty much the same kind of character. They have like different quirks, I guess, but they are pretty much just the same character. So I think they should be added as a 2-in-1. Sherry and Terry are the same character. They're just the same. They serve the same function. So it makes sense, and they're always seen together. So it makes sense to add them as a separate 2-in-1 character. Bill and Marty, I low-key think Bill and Marty should probably, like, if I had to pick, I'm kind of indifferent about it really, but if they were to add Bill and Marty, I think it would make sense if they were a 2-in-1 character, because what is the difference between Bill and Marty? Not really much. So, like, I would be fine with Bill and Marty being a 2-in-1 character, for example, if they were to add them in the future. I just think Mr. and Mrs. Powell, they don't have enough to distinguish them to not add them as a 2-in-1 character, so, yeah. Cookie thanks Marge for her, her reputation and sales have meant that Quimby has increased the amount of people she has to relocate. And now she's taken over Nick in sales. Now it's time to leave the peasants. She's going on to the rich people. Marge is horrified. How could you do this? Marge asks Lisa for help. We're going to beat Cookie at her own game, and we won't be afraid to dip into the West Side. Lisa tells Marge that Shauna is having to sleep at boys' houses, and whilst Chalmers is going school to school sleeping in the gyms. So you make Marge find Chalmers and Shauna a home, make Lisa look for people who need homes, make Cookie try to increase her sales, make Nick give up on realty, and you earn for sale signs, and you unlock the Chalmers house, which will be like this one here. Very cool house, actually. Marge tells Quimby that Cookie does not have the best interests in her house hunting. She's now after profits for herself. Quimby tells her he knows, but with a fee, he could enforce the law. Marge is confused. He wants a bribe, but Lisa explains that Cookie has obviously already paid him off. So Marge would go to Wiggum, he's the same, and then she eventually goes to, she says, like, we need to beat Cookie at her own game by knocking her out the game. So they instead try to ask Judge Snyder, who has also been paid off. So Lisa proposes, why don't we go to Judge Harm? So you make Lisa find Judge Harm, make Marge find Judge Harm, make Cookie bribe civil servants, earn for sale signs, and you unlock Pancho as an NPC. So Pancho is, of course, the little seal that lives near Judge Harm's house. He appears to be Pancho's, Judge Harm's pet, I think. Yeah. I think it's a guy. I think Pancho's a boy. I don't know. It. And so yeah, Judge Harm's Pancho's her pet, basically. So now Judge Harm has her home. Oh, sorry. They find Harm and they tell her what Cookie is doing. Judge Harm says she cares about the law above all, but her poor Pancho doesn't have a home to guard, and he really likes to guard a home. Marge asks the sea captain if he has a nice houseboat, and he tells her he has the perfect home. So you make the sea captain find a houseboat, make Marge broker a deal with Harm, make Lisa pet Pancho, you earn for sale signs, and you unlock 1 Ocean View Drive, which is this nice little houseboat here, or you can just call it Judge Harm's houseboat, either one. Yeah, really weird. Like, these are the 3 weird build. Like, this one was never added with Mr. Bergstrom, which was really weird. This one was never added with Grandma Van Houten, which was really weird. And this one was never added, although Judge Harm was the premium item, so that might be why. But this was never added with Judge Harm. So, yeah, there's just a bunch of accommodations or houses that I really would like to see in the game that weren't added with the characters they should have been added with. So, yeah, throw it in the prize track. And also Pancho. I want Pancho as an NPC. So, now Judge Harm has her home, she enforces the law and removes the government's budget from Cookie. Cookie is mad and vows to Marge she will get revenge. Marge asks Quimby if there is any people who need homes, but Quimby tells her that now Cookie is gone, he has no reason to keep the scheme going. Her bribes were the only reason why he was continuing, so he dissolves it. Marge feels like crap, she's doomed all these poor people, but Lisa says they still have enough money to rehome one last person. Martin. Make Marge find a home for Martin, make Lisa ask Martin questions about his perfect home, make Martin look at houses, you earn for sale signs, and you unlock the Prince House as a building. Very awesome. And then Martin thanks Marge and Lisa for getting his home back, and then, hello son, shock. Martin Prince Sr. was in the house the whole time. Martin reunites with his father, and Lisa tells Marge, a little heart to heart, you did a wonderful thing. Meanwhile, Homer and Bart come in, they kind of ruin all of Marge's altruism and tell her she did a terrible thing. You took away our homes. So you make Marge be conflicted, make Lisa praise Marge, make Bart and Homer be mad at Marge. You earn so many for sale signs and you unlock Martin Prince Sr. as a full playable character. And I know, I harp on this character so much. I really want him in the game. But god damn it, why isn't he in the game already? We've got Martha Prince. We've got Martin Prince. We need Martin Prince Sr. We needed the father. Also Barry McElberry, but I couldn't really I can't really bring in Barry McElberry without, like, a house for Sherry and Terry. And I don't think we've ever really seen the house, so, yeah. But yeah, I would like to get Martin in the game. It'd be Martin Prince Sr. in the game. It'd be very awesome. So, could not resist to put him in this prize track. Anyway, the epilogue. Marge tells Lisa, Homer, and Bart that even though the scheme is gone and she's going to be helping to rehouse people who need homes. But then Gil comes to Marge and tells her she's fired. Cookie laughs. She warned Marge she'd get revenge. So you make Marge hang up her blazer and make Cookie celebrate in her revenge. And that will be the end of the event. So I hope you have enjoyed this one. Let's move on to some tasks. So for Mr. Taylor, we have bounce his ball for 60 minutes. Will be a little animation of him just bouncing his ball up and down. Play anagram games for 4 hours. That will be in the Taylor house if you own it. If you don't own it, it will be the Brown house. Give a lecture about anagrams for 8 hours. This will be in the Springfield University. If you don't have the Springfield University, it will be in the Springfield High School. Polish Allison's trophies for 12 hours. So this will be an animation of him. He'll have like a big shiny trophy and he'll polish it. It'll be a big trophy. He'll polish it and then it will like pure shine. And then he'll be like, yes, perfect. And then it will like repeat. And then create a lecture for 24 hours. Or Mr. Taylor, or you could call him Professor Taylor because he's a professor. So I presume he's like a university professor. But maybe not. I don't know. But that's my assumption. But yeah, I think actually, they should call him Professor Taylor, not Mr. Taylor. That would distinguish him. Yeah, create a lecture for 24 hours. That will just be in the Taylor house or the Brown house. For Mr. Mitchell, we have drop his medicine for 60 minutes. So this will be him. he'll drop like a little bag of mysterious green herbs, and then he'll use his little walking stick to try and find it, and then he'll find it, and then he'll look to his left, his right, well, maybe not look, maybe he'll like twitch his ears, I don't know, look, maybe like, you know, moving his ears, and then he'll tuck it in, and then he'll carry on walking. Hide from the cops for 4 hours, that will be in his house. Legislate for legalization for 8 hours, that will be in the town hall. You know, he wants his medical marijuana. Look after Polly for 12 hours. This will be an animation. I think this one will be funny. It'll be outside of his house. He'll be holding Polly's cage, and he'll be like trying to talk to Polly, but this is Polly. I just think it's really dark. It is really dark. And then find a new pet for 24 hours. That will be at the animal shelter maybe, or the pet shop. One or the other. Or if not, just like, I don't know, the Quickie Mart. Who knows? For Lois Penny Candy, we have Organize Krusty's Day for 60 minutes. So this will be her outside of Stick Fair, whatever it's called. She'll be like on a desk, and there'll be like a little desk will form outside the mansion, or in the grounds of the mansion, and she'll be like calling and like writing stuff down, writing stuff down. She'll be obviously like very stressed. Confess herself to Krusty. So this is kind of like weird romantic relationship with like Lois. Like Lois seems to fancy Krusty. I don't know if that's what they were going for. That's the impression I got. But I was thinking like, yeah, they can maybe harp on that. So confess herself to Krusty for 4 hours. Answer fan mail for 8 hours. That'll be Krusty Lou Studios or Brown House, or well, actually could just be at the mansion. Spy on Krusty. So this will be her kind of like Moe's task with Spy on Midge, where he's like in a bush, but she'll be inside the grounds of the mansion, and she'll just be like inside like a bush or something, or behind a tree, and she'll have like little binoculars, and she'll be looking like for Krusty, and then maybe actually like a little Krusty balloon flies past, and she sees it, and she like hops in, and then it pops, and she's like, oh, Krusty's dead. I don't know, something like that could be kind of funny. And then break the restraining order for 24 hours. That will be at the Krusty Lou Studios with Krusty. Or Krusty Burger, maybe. For Nick Callahan, we've got Sell Houses on the Go, so this will be 60 minutes. So he will be have his little headset on, and he'll be like talking, and yeah, he'll be basically looking like he's selling houses, you know, doing the hand movements. Allocate houses to people for 4 hours. That will be at the Brown House. Try sell on the West Side for 8 hours. That will be at Red Blazer Realty. Place for sale signs for 12 hours. So this will be him. He'll be walking around, and then he'll just like hammer in a for sale sign like in the curb of the road, basically. And then paint over black mold for 24 hours. That will be at the Brown House. You know, schemy pit. You know, the house has got a mold infection, and he's like, well, just paint over it. For Edgar Allan Poe, we have Argue with His Raven for 60 minutes. So this will be him just arguing with the Raven. Write more stories for 4 hours. That will be at his house. Teach young minds about himself. That will be at the school for 8 hours. Try save his birthplace. So I think this could be a really cool animation. Basically, the birthplace of Edgar Allan Poe will just be like set on fire, like it was when it was seen, and it will just be him like trying his best to like save it, like pouring water or something on it maybe. And then read up on his legacy for 24 hours. That will be at the library. For Al Gumble, we have drink from bowling balls for 60 minutes. So he'll have he'll be pouring beer in one hole of a bowling ball, and then he'll start drinking it from the bowling ball. Argue with Barney for being late for 4 hours. That will be him and Barney at the Bowlerama. Run the Bowlerama for 8 hours. That will be at the Bowlerama. Again, if you don't own the Bowlerama for any reasons, these tasks would probably just have to be at the Bachelor's Arms apartments. Clean bowling shoes for 12 hours. That will be him outside the something, I guess maybe outside the, or actually no, this could just be him on the street, and he'll have like a little bowling ball, and maybe they could have like a visible stink coming from the shoes, and he looks disgusted as he like sprays them with like Febreze or something. And then unblock the bowling alley for 24 hours. That'll be at Barney's Bowlerama. For Emma, we've got throw out Bumblebee Man stuff, so this will be her inside of her house, and she'll just be like throwing out like different various items, like, you know, like all the oranges, like throwing out like a Bumblebee Man suit, throwing out like Taquito, the little dog. Is it Taquito? The little dog as well. Maybe she throws out the dog as well. Remarry Bumblebee Man for 4 hours. This will be Bumblebee Man and her at the courtroom. practice being Bumblebee Man Woman for, I don't know, Bumblebee Woman for 8 hours. This will be at the Krusty Land Studios. Demand El Divorcio for 12 hours. So this will be her with the divorce papers, and she'll be like demanding it outside of the house. She'll just be waiting there, like practicing her El Divorcio speech outside of the house. Or it could include the Bumblebee Man as well. And then try get a female Bumblebee Man on the air for 24 hours. That will be at Krusty Land Studios. For Kyle, we have break beer bottles. So I thought with his quest line, because all we really know about him is A, he's Bumblebee Man's stepson for one scene, and B, his actual father died of like liver failure basically from Duff. So I thought we'll just have like a quest where he tries to bond with Duffman, but they can't because he's still mad about his father. So break beer bottles. This will be him breaking like Duff beer bottles, you know, because Duff killed his father. Try bond with Duffman for 4 hours. That'll be him and Duffman in Duffman's house. Campaign to ban Duff for 8 hours. This will be at the town hall. Egg Duffman's house for 12 hours. So this will be him just egging Duffman's house. Why not? I think that could be a funny little animation. Just egging his house. And then Mrs. Father, for 24 hours. This could be anywhere really. Brown House could work. For Red Blazer Marge, we got pick properties to sell. So this will be a animation. She'll have like the little property, so a bit like Cosign's task where he has the little super friends thing. A little like whiteboard or blackboard shows up, or chalkboard actually, on like a stand with all these different like houses, like pictures of houses, comes up, and she'll be like, you know, thinking. You know, hand on her head thinking, or on her mouth thinking, and then she'll pick like a picture basically, and it'll just be that pretty much. Try sell the murder house for 4 hours. This will be at the murder house, but if you don't have the murder house, it will be at Red Blazer Realty. Work for a promotion for 8 hours. That will be at Red Blazer Realty. So on her her promotion badge. So this will be her outside of Red Blazer Realty, and she'll have like a little sewing machine on a table, and she'll be like sewing the badge on the, you know, like the promotion badge on her little jacket, and then she'll like show it, and it will have like supervisor or whatever promoted. And then check up on properties for 24 hours. This will be a semi-animation, and basically what I mean by that is she'll just be walking from properties to properties, like a bit like Legs and Louie's task where they like enforce businesses or whatever. She'll just be like going from property to property essentially around your town, so just walking pretty much. And then we have Mr. and Mrs. Powell, practice skip it. So I thought kind of with their quest, they could do something funny where like they're like desperately trying to bond with Janie. So practice skipping for 60 minutes. Like it'll be both of them in turn trying to skip. Like maybe one of them falls over, one of them hits themselves in the head, or maybe like one of them like lets go with the skipping rope and it goes flying or something. So that could be like a little funny animation. Watch Janie in the school play for 4 hours. That will be obviously the school, including Janie. Jointly do house chores for 8 hours. That will be both of them in the house. Support Janie for 12 hours. So like it'll be both of them holding a banner that says like we believe in you, Janie, or something like that, and they'll just be like walking around the town holding this big banner. And then supervise Janie's grounding for 24 hours. Basically, I think in the quest line, like Janie like overdoes it. You know, she's like, oh, my parents are trying to impress me so much. They're trying to like, you know, they're trying to encourage me so much. I'm going to take advantage of it. And then like they end up grounding her. So yeah, supervise Janie's grounding for 24 hours. And then for Martin Prince Sr., we have collect church donations. I know that everyone always does this. I know it's like super easy because it's like when you type in Martin Prince Sr., this is like one of the first images you get, so it's like such an easy animation. But I recently watched the episode where this scene happens, and I was saying, whatever. So yeah, collect church donations. So I'll just be outside the church with the donation basket. It's weird because I don't think we actually got an animation with anyone doing that, so actually I think it would make him a bit unique in that respect. Give Martin a pep talk for 4 hours. That'll be him and Martin in the Prince house. Buy Martin's birthday presents online for 8 hours. That'll be in the Prince house. Decorate for Martin's birthday. So this will be him putting like a happy birthday banner basically across the house. So it'll be him on the ladder, and he'll be trying to put the banner across the house, and maybe he'll like fall off the ladder or something. And then this one might be a bit cruel. Like I don't know if this is a thing, but like try make his son more manly. I don't know. Like maybe that could be a bit deep. You know, like the crisis of masculinity. Like, oh no, my son is not traditionally masculine. Oh no, I don't know. Maybe that might not be like maybe that's not right for the character, but that's what I don't know. I just threw it in there. So maybe they could do something with that. That could be kind of cool. And that is it. So tell me your thoughts on the housing update. I know this video was long. I know it was a big deal, but I actually really like this idea. Like, they don't have to structure it how I've structured it. They can structure it differently. But I would really goddamn like an update where we got, like, just a bunch of houses and properties. I think that would be so sick. Like, if this update came out, I think I would like it more over, like, another superheroes update. More over, like, another Destination Springfield update. I would like this the most because I love buildings in the game. I think the buildings, like... I think the characters are really cool to get, but honestly, like, buildings are what makes your town. Like, the characters are, they just walk around. The buildings really make your town, so I really like buildings. I really value buildings, and I think more houses would be awesome, because that means we could build up our neighborhoods even more than they already are. Now, I know a lot of these are, like, kind of mansions and stuff, but still, I think there's lots of stuff that you could put in your normal real estate. Obviously, you've got, like, this house... Martin's house, Chalmers' house, both of them would go into like a normal thing. The Powell house, even if they had to redesign it, there's not really any here that are like traditional, like like your Flanders house, your Simpsons house, your Brown house. This house would work. This house and Duffman's house, I think, could work in like a normal estate. Maybe even this one, they could probably make that one work as well. And Lenny's house too. Yeah, I don't know. I would just, and also Mr. Mitchell's house. I just really would like, and all these houses do. I just really would like to have an update like this where we just get a load of houses. So I hope you've enjoyed this one. Tell me your thoughts on it. Make sure to head over to the Discord to vote which update you want to see next. Of course, it'll be a mini update next. And yeah, just tell me your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next video. Make sure to subscribe. And goodbye.